Asian Banking and Finance magazine caught up with 3i Infotech to find out what's changed post-crisis. Welcome to Asian Banking and Finance. We are here today with Debneel Mukherjee, the president of 3i Infotech, to talk about what's new in banking, especially in light of the financial crisis and how Asian financial institutions are shaping up. Debneel, the crisis has not affected Asian banks as badly, but they've still got a lot of work to do. What kind of changes are you seeing in demands from your clients and banks that you deal with?
Right. Basically, there are two kinds of changes that we have been seeing coming up. One side is that there has been a much more thought process that is going into the discretionary spending. There's a budget squeeze out of which it is coming in. People are now trying to get the best value for the money they spend. And the other side, where do they spend? Now the trend has more gone into areas where you can monitor your risk more closely, you can limit your exposure, and you take more timely decisions. So things like 360-degree customer view and aggregating and over the disparate systems is what it is coming out more clearly and more evidently now as a need for the banks, and that's where they are looking at spending.
Now, obviously banks do have lots of disparate systems and there are different systems providers. What separates 3i from other companies in this area?
Well, two or three main areas where I think we have a clear advantage. First is that the range of products that we have. It's very few people who has this kind of range, not just in the banking arena, but also in the financial services sector, including the mutual fund, the insurance industry, and so on and so forth. Staying back to bank, if you see almost very critical areas like right from regulation all the way to transaction processing, all the way to business driving systems is what we provide. There are about 8 or 9 products in which we have the IPs which we offer to the market in the region. And these are, the spread has been a very big advantage for us. The other two main advantage has been these are bilingual products, which is very critical to go into the markets in this region. But more importantly, on top of that, we use extensively bilingual resources. So that's where it's very important, because much of the countries in this region, they do not have that of a advantage of speaking English. So you need to know to speak their language, and that's where you can break the ice and go into not just at the deal striking stage, but right all the way into the implementation, and that's where implementation becomes successful and they become timely. And finally, maybe the most important thing is that we are although an Indian company listed in Indian stock exchanges, but we are very much like a local operator. We have large delivery capacities created in this region, in places where we have gone, where we have significant markets, and this is from where we service the rest of the region, and that has been a very important factor for us, that's local presence.
So speaking of local presence and implementations, what's an interesting company you've worked with lately and an implementation that you've done?
Oh, it's a very good question, and actually it fits in the context very rightly. About a year or so back, we had a large contract coming in from a very large bank in Taiwan, China Trust. And initially we were selected by them after a very tight competition from international factoring vendors, as well as large IT systems application providers who wanted to develop bespoke softwares for them. But we clinched that order essentially because of quite a few very big differentiators in terms of bilingual products, our service qualities, our promptness to respond to them. And 1 year, more than a year or so within being in the implementation, we have already put Taiwan live. Now we are doing, it's a multi-country rollout. We are doing Hong Kong. After this we'll be doing China, and then eventually we will even do it in US. So it has been a great learning experience, and the fact that we have been able to do it so smoothly and within budgeted time and cost is basically because we had a local presence, we had bilingual resources, and we also had a product where we could address the needs of the bank. So basically listening to our customers were very important. To give you an example, there was invoice to invoice factoring.
Yes.
And in that, something which we never had, but it was very important for the bank because they could actually connect a fund to the invoice and not to a pool of invoices. So the receivables management was absolutely to the T, and it is like one for one kind of a receivables management, which enables the bank to monitor their exposure, also manage the risk, which is what they were looking at right from day one, and we could provide them that. So this has been like something which worked very well. So one of the key factors has been also to listen to the customer, their pains, their aspirations, their expectations, and address them rather than trying to sell what you have.
And if there's one sort of area that you are really noted for, apart from the bilingual capability of your software and your team, where would you say the strengths really lie of 3i?
I think one main strength comes is the way we have organized ourselves, the local presence that we talked about. Because of the local presence, we are in the same time zone. Many people miss this out, is that if you look at between India and this part of the world, although we are in Asia and South Asia and Southeast Asia and all that, it's actually 2.5 hour time zone difference, and that makes a lot of difference when you are actually on a delivery mode, and when you need to address customers who are banks, insurance companies who have very time bound deliverables with their clients, and so on and so forth. So local presence has been very important for us. Right at the time of winning even the orders, it has been how we have been able to respond, we have been able to turn around, we have been able to configure and show to the customer that the speed with which we could work, because we had a local presence, because we were in the same time zone. Those were a big advantage for us as compared to our competition, and this continues all the way down the cycle, all through the implementation cycle, the support cycle. And that's how, not only, if you see in this downturn, one of our main winning stakes has been the repeat businesses we have been getting from these customers. And if you really look at the kind of business we are in, they say there is hardly any repeat business because it's already new sell that you have to survive on. But if you survived only on new sell, in this kind of downturn you will perish. So as repeat businesses has been very key to our success, and we have always been able to get significant amount of repeat business, and more so in this downturn because of the high quality of turnaround that we could provide to them.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was Debneel Mukherjee, the CEO of 3i Infotech, and at Asian Banking and Finance, we look forward to seeing you again next time.
For more banking news and videos, visit the Asian Banking and Finance website.